Hello everyone, once again welcome back to a short preview of the Super 8's double header in this T20 World Cup. The World Cup was officially in my books was going to begin when Pakistan took on New Zealand, but weather played spoil sport. We need some quality cricket action to light up this cricket World Cup. I hope it begins today and weather stays out of the way for the first game where Sri Lanka will be taking on England at home. That said, some of these associate nations have put in wonderful performances in this World Cup. Scotland, a last-minute entry into the World Cup, were truly good, truly exceptional in this World Cup. They came close to winning a few games, but they couldn't. They put on a great fight against West Indies, and then USA was brilliant. Nepal was brilliant against England. They ended up winning that game at the Wankhede as a consolation win at the end. The surprise package for me was actually Italy. Italy looked completely in control in several of the games that they played. They lost their captain Wayne Madsen to injury very early on. So these teams were quite impressive, but there were other teams who need a lot of work if they are to come back and compete in these global competitions. There is the Olympics that's going to come up in 2028. And I really hope the ICC look into it and give these teams solid exposure before they turn up at that particular event. Anyway, that aside, the Super 8s probably and hopefully should begin today. And with respect to the England and Sri Lanka game, England and Sri Lanka head to head, England are way ahead. Look at those numbers. They have dominated Sri Lanka in this format, and keeping recent form in mind, they just warmed themselves up in Sri Lanka before coming for the World Cup. And they again nailed Sri Lanka 3-0 in the T20I series. A low scoring game where everyone thought Sri Lanka were going to win, but England came and defended that. England's Achilles heel is their bowling, but the fact that they've shown that they can keep Sri Lanka under some restraint with that bowling attack doesn't give me an answer as to how Sri Lanka are going to attack England. The best option Sri Lanka have is to put a really good turning pitch and then sort of keep England in check. But then again, Adil Rashid has been fabulous against Sri Lanka, and Sri Lanka should be very on all departments. One of the confidence building factors that Sri Lanka will have heading into this particular competition is Pathum Nissanka's recent form. That's going to come up now, where Pathum Nissanka has redeemed himself. Redeemed is the wrong word. Actually, he was striking at 140 against England in that bilateral series, but into this World Cup, he's really truly woken up some of the great giants. He's been a giant killer. They did nail Australia as well. So 190, he's going at 190, but England in that bilateral series where Pathum Nissanka came from the IL-20, he was in amazing form, but still found a way to restrict him. They used spin inside the power play. They took pace off. They got him caught at deep square leg, if I'm not wrong, in one of those games, which is where he picks up that ball. And Pathum Nissanka's batting form and the way he goes in this game will dictate how much pressure Sri Lanka is able to impact on England. But Adil Rashid, after that blip against Nepal, has come back really well, and he is the X-factor addition for England. So I really hope that Sri Lanka can counter him to give us a really good game. But otherwise, England are looking very strong. But England haven't really arrived at this T20 World Cup. I hear a lot of you telling me England have been quite rusty coming, and they haven't been in the greatest of forms in the build-up, but that counts for nothing. England is a team that knows they've been a former champion. They know how to step it up. They've got some really experienced players in their ranks. So I do think England are favourites in this game, unless and until there is a weather interruption, there is a shortened game. I see England really doing very well in this game. Sri Lanka, on the other hand, have lost Hasaranga. Mahesh Theekshana hasn't been. I wouldn't say he's been under par, but he's been okay. Dunit Vellalage, he's a finger spinner, but still very young and coming through. Let's wait and watch what happens. But according to the numbers and what England have shown in the recent past, England are clear favourites. But there is another game that's happening later in the evening, and which is what everyone is looking forward to. Deval Brevis for South Africa has been quite underwhelming so far. He hasn't really set the stage on fire. He is a player to watch out for. Likewise, Abhishek Sharma, on the other hand, is a player that's come in with some form, but he's yet to get off the mark in this World Cup. I don't think he's gotten off the mark in any World Cup, because this is his first World Cup. that is quite surprising, right? It's audacious, and in many ways, it's something that's not believable. He's been the player to watch out for in the cricketing fraternity. Forget about India, and there have been some questions raised. And I mean, I understand India is a country where a lot of talented players are there, and there is one sitting in the bench, and there's been question marks that have been raised. But Surya has handled it really well, and I think Abhishek can truly use this game to take a bit of time and come back to form. But that said, a lot of emphasis will go on what this venue is offering at the Narendra Modi Stadium. As you can see, before we go there, I think South Africa versus India head to head, India have dominated, and in the recent past, India have dominated most teams across bilateral series in the T20 format. So I do think India have the edge. They know how to handle South Africa. On the other hand, this venue, the Narendra Modi Stadium, is where I'm going to dwell upon a little bit. If you look at the previous ones, South Africa have loved to chase. They've chased 9 times and won against India. And teams that have won the toss at this venue have also chosen to bowl a lot. But the data is showing something else. It's saying teams batting first have won almost 60% of their games. But that could factor in some of the day games happening at this in this World Cup. So I think this World Cup has generally not been marred a lot by dew. So I still think there is value for batting first. But will South Africa, if they win the toss, choose to bat first and exert some pressure on India, which they did in the bilateral series earlier? I don't think they chose to bat first in that game at Mullanpur, where South Africa batted first. Quinton de Kock got 100, and they managed to defend a 220 odd score against India. I think, going by what's happened recently, India's biggest pitfall could be having to chase a good score on pitches that are not absolutely placid and mind you, no dew coming in later on. I think South Africa's best bet, in my view, is to bat first, go pressure free if there is no dew. But will they do it? Because they've consistently won they would believe that they can chase and win against India. It's a very interesting conundrum that South Africa are going to face. But with respect to India, they've got an X-factor bowling lineup with Varun Chakravarti and Bumrah, which again I think stands out. India haven't been greatest against spin in the middle overs. Shivam Dube is the one player they go to when they need it. But South Africa, again, what spin do they have? They have Keshav Maharaj and George Linde. Are they going to go with 2 left-arm spinners against a left-hand dominated Indian batting lineup? I doubt that. Lungi Ngidi is someone South Africa can turn up to. He's been really good with that looping slower ball, dipping full Yorkers. He's been quite good. I think that's one bowler that South Africa will bank upon. Otherwise, Rabada has gone for quite a lot of runs. He's not been their go-to T20 bowler. Janssen's slower ball has come to the fore. So South Africa's bowling is not looking in great shape. If they can turn up, and if their batters, especially if Quinton de Kock can light it up with Brevis also coming to the party, South Africa do stand a good chance. But that aside, there's been some promos that have been doing the rounds, which I'm sure is going to egg the South Africans on. Let's see if those promos can fire them up and they can turn up and make the right choices and also play some good cricket. But otherwise, India are favourites again heading into this game. But India will also be a bit jittery knowing that South Africa have got some power. They've got some firepower. On their day, especially in this format, they can turn the heat on. That's it from me on the short previews for the Super 8 doubleheader in the World Cup. And as always, you guys can leave your opinions on the comment section. After the game, I'll see you on the reviews on both channels.